Well, good morning, everybody. Welcome to week 2 of our healthcare project management class. Again, this is Mark Evans, your instructor, and I just wanted to record this video to give you some updates for week 2 and encourage you for a job well done in week 1. Project management really spans all industries. I mean, the principles and the ideas of project management are basically the same, regardless of if you're talking about a healthcare project, if you're talking about projects in manufacturing or service industries. Regardless of what you're doing, the basic principles of project management are the same. You've probably heard in your textbook and in some of the notes terms like PMP, which is Project Management Professional. There is also PMI, which is the Project Management Institute. And just like in the medical field or the IT field, there are certifications that individuals can get that show they know how to run projects and that they're well trained and well versed in project management. And that's the PMP certifications. And if you go out on CareerBuilder or LinkedIn or some of those kind of things, it's not unusual to see jobs, project manager jobs, and see that they require PMP certifications that go with it. So it's a very wide open field. It's an exciting field, very technical in a lot of ways, and I think it's a very fun field because you can work on so many diverse things. I've been a project manager over a time and attendance system, putting in Kronos for payroll. I've put in shipping systems, quality systems. I've built apprenticeship programs. So if you're good at project management and you like that sort of thing, there are all kind of different projects and things like that you can be involved in. And certainly from a medical field standpoint, likewise, because medicine's always changing. You're always trying to improve the office or the services or the emergency room or whatever part of healthcare you're dealing with. You're always trying to improve the quality, improve the processes, and so project management is a big part of healthcare. In chapter 2 or 3, whichever one they tell you you got to read this week, we start talking about some of the processes or steps in project management. One of the first ones that you'll see is the PDCA process, and that's the plan, do, check, and act process, and that comes right out of lean manufacturing and Deming and things, the quality movement that happened right after World War II. And basically it's exactly what it is. You plan your work, or you plan your project, you do it, you check to see if it's on target, and if it is, you act on it. You put it in place, kind of permanently, if you will. So for an example, if I were going to change a payroll system like I mentioned that I did, I would plan how I would do the payroll changes and that kind of thing. The team would actually implement them, and along the way we would check to see if everything was going well, and if it was, then we would act on it and put it in place. In the check phase, if we did not like what we saw, we would kind of go back to the plan and do until you could get past the check phase. So it kind of gives you an idea of what the PDCA cycle is all about. They also say in your textbook and in a lot of the different study manuals that there are 5 parts to a project management. There's the initiating phase, in which we get the project off the ground. That's where your team members are selected, and a lot of the scope of the project and so forth is selected and picked out. You have planning in terms of how are we going to do the project. You have execution in terms of we're doing the project, monitoring it and controlling it. In other words, we're going to keep it in between the lines, make sure that it's doing exactly what we said we're going to do. And certainly the last thing that we do is to close the project when it's finished and celebrate. That's a big part of it. So this week we'll introduce you to the plan, do, check, act, or PDCA, and then the 5 phases of project management. 2 things you'll start hearing about here now soon in the process is called scope. What is the scope of the project, or what are the boundaries of the project? What are the things that we should be working on, and what are the things that are off limits? We also will start hearing terms like project creep. And project creep is when the scope is not well defined. Things get added to the project, so it becomes more and more and more complicated, and then there's risk of failure. So those are some of the things that we're going to be talking about this week. Don't forget that your project charter is due. I think this week. You had 2 weeks to get that done, and that is just a sample charter to give you an idea of what one looks like and give you a little bit of practice in filling one out. You can dream up whatever project you want to fill in the blanks there. Let me know if you have any questions. I'll see you in class.